Yeah, that makes sense. And I haven't, you know what's crazy? I'm a Drake, I really like Drake. And seeing, I haven't heard the album, but seeing what everybody said about the album really killed my excitement in listening, which is crazy. I got influenced to not listen to a rapper I absolutely love. But now the way you're saying it is he's doing what he does that made me love him in the first place. He's creating the lane.
He always has. Those guys, like, you know, that's why we make the Mount Rushmore. And I have a Mount Rushmore in tears. So what I mean by that is I have the people that I know is not moving because of what they've done in the history of music. Then I have people that's on the come up doing that.
Yeah.
So Drake is one of those guys that's just always pushing the envelope. And you can't say nothing bad about him because he always does. He's just pushing the envelope 24/7. Kendrick's pushing the envelope. Kendrick didn't have to do what he did on his last album. He could have went from Damn to another Damn making huge hits.
Yeah.
He made an art piece, but it was for people that he was like, bro, I'm not speaking to everybody. I'm speaking to people that really want to listen. I want to teach y'all something. So he gave y'all a perspective. You know what I mean? So that's where I feel like music is going to. It's like everybody having their own perspective of what's supposed to be happening. Like we don't all have to do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's really, bro, this conversation is helping me more than you know because, like, again, I'm not in the music space, but I see some things in the entrepreneurial space. Like, okay, like everybody's selling a course now. At some point, somebody has to do something different. And now in my mind, even as you're talking, I'm like, okay, what's the different? What is the different in my industry that everybody's going to follow? Because it seems like, especially in music, you can only have mild success doing what everyone's doing in the moment.
Yeah.
But if you want to change the game, you have to be the person that's going to create the thing that everyone will be doing in another moment.
Yeah, somebody had, well, you know, like you, I've known you forever, right? One of the things I seen that was smart, you had shirts and books. You were in Cumberland Mall, had a kiosk. And I walked through there and your hustle was different. You know what I mean? Most people on kiosks, they don't really speak to you. You had an outspoken kind of positioning. So it was only right for me to see you in this moment. You know what I mean? Because this is the next level. You spoke well, so you here. You know what I mean? But, you know, I was having this conversation earlier. We see Angela Yee. She went, so yeah, the Breakfast Club is over as we know it, right? So we was trying to kind of decrypt it and figure out what it really meant. And all we know is the bottom line is it's over. But I thought about it differently. I'm like, oh, does that mean that podcasts and these talk shows on different platforms are tearing radio up to where we don't have no appreciation for the Greg Streets and the people that's in that space? What does this really mean? So everybody moving into the podcast, like even at a Vest Fest, we went there, like went into the, you know, the vendor room, and I seen no radio presence. No, you know what I mean? No streets.
And that's odd for you.
Very odd. Because you go to car shows, you see those. You see, you got to stop by Hot 107.9. Yeah. You got to stop by the streets and talk to Ferrari and them. You got to go to V103 and see Greg Street and Tigger and everybody. So like to see a room and have 15,000, 20,000 people here to learn in that room and there's no radio, it's like, oh snap, has the game moved into podcasting? Has it moved to Sirius Satellite? What is it? Like, is it just playlisting? So in a world now where everybody has a podcast and everything, the person that wins is the person that turns it into a different type of podcast. You know what I mean?
Man, darn, I missed it. I had a table and like I'm selling like my morning meetup, which is my community, and also like t-shirts and stuff. Mm-hmm. I wish we'd had this conversation last week because if we had, I would have literally set up my booth like the radio station. Like, yo, you got to come by and get your perspective.
So many people was there and it was like the opportunity was missed. Like I never walked around a room like that in the World Congress Center and not did interviews. I was walking around supporting Black businesses. I didn't talk to anybody. Not one person. I'm sorry, one person. I talked to this guy, Nick. He had a joint, but it's very brief and short. But he won because he was the only one sitting in there really doing an interview. So
Thank you. Listen, y'all see me at like vending somewhere, it is going to be a podcasting studio. I got it.
Yeah,
got it.
Bro, this is
got it.
It's imperative because, bro, even if you're in the room listening to Steve Harvey, if that's what you want to do, if you backstage busting up with some investors for the building, just thinking about having that stand there that's working for you when you're not there. You have to. Like, there's so many people walk through that room. You want to know, Beyonce might have came like, hey, I'm an investor. I'm at the Vest Fest. And you missed the interview.
I missed it.
And she might have had it. So those is things that everybody wasn't doing that shows us, oh, he on a different wave. He got the whole social proof set up right there.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing it. So it's like, you won.
Yep.
If the dude wound up having a bigger space, they gave him a small space. So it was like, he did whatever it took to get that. But if he had like, when you first come in and it's right there, which you probably would have did.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's over.
It'd have been first stop. Yo, come get your gift bag, your t-shirt, get on the podcast and win. That's where, those are the things where people are not doing. Like I told people, nobody's done what Fab Five Freddy did in a minute. Fab Five Freddy did MTV back in the day, and he would go to like Tupac's crib and they would walk down the street and just talk, have a conversation. He would go to Easy E's video shoot and they'd just be, you know what I mean, busting it up. Or MC Hammer's, dining. Like me and Jeezy did one old school, like right around Trap or Die 2, we went to a sushi spot and did our whole conversation with MTV there. Like there's nobody doing that really that I haven't seen. Most people have a studio, in studio, stuff like that, but nobody's on set. Like I'm on set with, Rick Ross, or I'm at, if they go to his house, they're sitting in the middle of his crib. You know what I'm saying?
I can't miss this moment, bro.
He's sitting in his crib, but y'all not walking out talking by the cattle, or you're not by the water. Like there's no real interaction happening. And that's what I liked about it. Like you have a lot of MTV raps, you got a lot of basement stuff, but there's no interaction of people together in a different space. Like, you know what I mean? I was telling people, like, if me and Drum was to do something like that, we need to be walking down North Avenue with Tip and remembering those days, or just talking. Like we can't be sitting in no studio talking. Like you gotta feel attacked. You gotta see how people
I feel attacked right now.
Yeah, like figure out like Fab Five Freddy, he was walking by and Tupac, let's see some fans. And he's like, Pac, yo, we love you. Yo, come here. He signed a t-shirt right on the TV. Like that's a different experience.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That people are not getting. People are not feeling that situation. And everybody's always chimed in and was like, well, today is messed up. People be trying to do this and that. But it still has to be that space where, even it's a segment, on the scene segment. That's what goes into that vendor shop. It's just on the scene at all times doing stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm excited. You excited? You got ideas? Is it happening? It's happening right now. Oh my gosh. Yo, all right. So, oh man, this is crazy. What's your, what you and Drum, it's just you and Drum that have the company for the record label.
Yeah, so Lake Show, which was also some guy, he went to Morehouse. He was a friend of ours. And
not Trendsetter? He's not in.
No, Trendsetter is just, he was still a part of the whole affiliation, but not part of Generation Now.
Gotcha.
When Generation Now started, to be honest, it was like whoever was going to put in super blood, sweat equity and had some dividends to actually move, you know what I mean? And I ever told the story, like when I was bringing, I found Uzi, I brought it to Drum, and I'm like, yo, we could do this again. Like, you know what I mean? We should do it. And not one person said no. You know what I mean? We had some backlash from some people. We knew it's like, nah, that ain't gonna work, man. You got purple hair. You know what I'm saying? It was like, what are y'all doing? I was like, bro, it's talented, but I get it. You know what I'm saying?